Hi, welcome to my live tonight. I am here with a friend that I just met on Facebook a few weeks ago. Her name is Brittany Verlenich, and she is going to share with us things about she is a teacher and she is teaching on a reservation in Arizona, right?
Yep, that's correct.
That's cool. But she has done a lot of traveling and she has done a lot of eclectic different types of jobs that have led her to where she is now, but it's also leading her to many different avenues of things that she is doing. And I think it was really interesting getting to know Brittany and hearing her journey on all the different things that she has done, that because she has this explorer personality almost. like to you like to travel and you like to see different things. You like to explore a ton of different opportunities that some people may not be aware of.
And totally, that's exactly right.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna let Brittany share with us some of those things that she has done and what she is doing now, and how the things that she has and the resources that she has are helping teachers to do more with their lives, especially when they have their summer breaks and when they have all this time off, and if they can do it while they're teaching, or it's another opportunity for them to explore. So I'll let you take it away, Brittany.
Sure, thank you. Yeah, that is exactly right. So I find a lot of people just in our country in general, but especially in entrepreneurship, really gravitate toward having a certain niche, having a certain specialty. I feel like our society is kind of built on that. And I always felt weird because I was like, I don't want to do just one thing. I want to see all of the opportunities out there. I want to meet all kinds of people. I want to learn from all kinds of people. And so I have done lots of fun experiences. I've worked at a flower farm in Virginia. I've worked at a summer camp, a bus in Hawaii. It's crazy. I've done alternative outdoor education in the mountains near San Francisco. So I've had the pleasure and the privilege of having all kinds of jobs in really beautiful places. And this extended even into teaching. And that was how this all first started, because a lot of people would ask me, one, how can you still afford to travel so much as a teacher? And two, how do you find out about this stuff? Like, where do you find? I would be like obsessed, like wherever I was at, like I would enjoy it for a little while and then be like, okay, what's next? And so over time, just by connecting with people, by finding resources and job boards and things like that, I started getting really good at finding these really cool jobs and opportunities for traveling, especially for teachers. Yeah. So since I got a lot of questions about it, I was like, okay, I'll make a Facebook group. And I wasn't even planning to make it a business. I was like, I'll just make a Facebook group so we can share all this stuff. And I realized I was kind of good at it, but I thought that people really wanted help with finding it, because that's why I originally made it. But I actually found that people were still stuck with the fear part of like, yeah, but I don't know, like, I'm scared. I'm scared to go work in another country or another state or something. And so then I said, okay, so there's a little bit of like coaching in here. And so it really also became about like, okay, not just how can you save money and how can you find out these opportunities, but how can you get over the fear of being comfortable and just going and doing it. So it became like some like mentorship and inspiration in there. And then I found ways. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, to say absolutely. There is those limiting beliefs and those things that hold us back are things that we need, like we have to learn how to address and help people to overcome.
Yeah, absolutely. With everything I'm finding now that I know the term for that. I didn't know what limiting beliefs were 3 years ago when I started this. I just knew, it's fear, right? I knew it was fear, but I didn't know that it was like your whole worldview and belief system really impacts that. So then I started sharing like some mindset things and like kind of coaching in there. And then I did that through a blog, and made a blog out of it. So I was like pulling resources for people, travel grants, all this stuff. And then I started figuring out, I can actually monetize this. I can actually make money from the blog, and I can actually have other ways to make money to even get paid to travel to places, which is the dream, right? So I don't even have to pay to go there, and saving money on the travel itself. So then I started doing that just for my own travel and helping other people see how they can do it. And then I had other teachers asking me, okay, you're getting paid for this stuff now. How are you getting paid for it? So then that became a thing of like mentoring, like, okay, here are some ways you can do that. You can be like a travel blogger or an influencer without looking a certain way or doing things a certain way. And so that's kind of what I do now. And that's why even like my taglines are always like earn more and travel better, because it's kind of vague because it's whatever the teachers want. Like if a teacher wants to quit their job and travel the whole time, I can help them do that. If they just want to get more out of their spring break, then I can help them do that. So it's all just really fun. It's all stuff I'm excited about.
That's cool. And I think then that reminds me of like, that's actually how we connected, I think was because we were both talking about blogging.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was like, and so I was intrigued about the different, because you have a couple different blogs, don't you?
Yeah. And Traveling Teachers. So Traveling Teachers is the one specifically for teacher travel. I also have one separately that's, I really made it as a resource for teachers who are interested in teaching on the reservation, because I also like that I'm on a reservation, and that's just such a novelty, right? People are like, oh, how did you find out about that? Or so I made one specifically for that because and there's also some added like challenges when you live and work on a reservation if you're not an Indigenous person yourself. And so it's like, how can we be more informed and armed with knowledge going in? So that one, I don't even really focus on as much making money from it, because it's really just like, I just want you to know, I just want you to have the information coming in.
Yeah.
Hi Karen.
Hey, Karen. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, that is, and I love how you like when I often talk about to people about having their avatar, knowing who their avatar is and knowing who their audience is. And I love that you are specifically speaking to teachers, but at the same time, even if you're not a teacher, they can still learn and hear and experience and take advantage of things that you are sharing on your blogs and on your Facebook posts. And it's like, but when you do narrow down, you do specifically talk to teachers then they hear you, and then other people hear you also because they can relate to different struggles across the board. And that's cool. So, what are some of your favorite blogs that you've done?
Well, I did a really in-depth one about teaching on the reservation because that was the most frequently asked question. I think like one tip for any kind of entrepreneur is listen to your audience and like pay attention to what they're asking and how they're asking it. If there's a question that's coming up really often, that's a good sign that should be in your content and that you should maybe even think about designing an offer around that. So because people wanted to teach on the reservation, I made a really in-depth guide. Like, this is exactly how you go about doing it. This is what you should know beforehand. These are my experiences. Here are some books. And I do have affiliate links for the book. So, if you buy the book, I make a small commission on that. So that's probably the best one I've done. Or do you mean blogs that I follow?
No, blogs that you've written was what I was just talking about, because I'd like to put links to your blogs down below. So if people are interested in hearing or reading more about what you do and your resources, I would love to be able to share that with them, because it's always neat to see what other people are doing and what other opportunities are out there to explore, whether or not it's something that you do or whether it's something that you can share with somebody else. Because as entrepreneurs working together and help and seeing what each other is doing is always intriguing and helpful, and having resources at hand is always what it's the benefit to everybody. So absolutely. And also, I want to provide, like, if there's any teachers who are listening, if there's any teachers that anybody knows, you can share this blog with them, and it might be something that they can enjoy. They can travel. I mean, I can't wait to travel right now.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Yes, I have been having a really hard time staying home and so it's just, and I know it's like, as things are opening back up and things are becoming more easier to move around. The United States is opening back up, and things around the world are going to eventually open back up. And so, but even so, like even within like what you're doing on the reservation and what other jobs that you have done has been, it's really intriguing, and you can read about those on your blog. And so it's like, but what is one, I love that tip about that you gave about, yeah, my mind is going blank. Just that yeah, you had just mentioned, and that we can just all just glean from each other. And so anyhow, yeah, I'm having a drawn a blank. Just,
yeah, well, I was saying about listening to your audience. So like it's important to like what the questions they ask. But I even think like, so the blogs obviously are targeted towards teachers. So I could see someone thinking, well, I'm not a teacher, and that's totally fine. But I would still recommend, if you're interested in writing a blog, that you go check it out, because you can still watch how someone does something. I think that's always super helpful, even if it's a different niche. The teaching on the reservation one, this is a really crazy thing. Like I said, I was not setting out really to monetize that one. It was just like informational. Yeah. And I actually started ranking on Google for that. I'm actually number 1 on Google for that post. And if you do Control F, teaching on a reservation, you're going to see how many times I say that phrase, and you will see like because the keyword search is in there so many times. So if you are a blogger, there are certain tips that you can kind of go in there and see just from how I formatted it. And that way you can start getting more eyes on your blog if you're relying on search marketing, which is what we were kind of talking about a little bit before our chat.
Yes, that is true. Like when you are doing blogging and understanding SEO, and that's cool how you were able to, like, you know what people are searching for, and you incorporate that into your blog. That is true. It's like, that's awesome. I'm going to have to go look up your blog now. I should have before, but I didn't get a chance to. No but I love that. And so definitely I will put these, actually, I'm going to copy them and put them in the chat. But
oh no, what happened? I wonder if this is still streaming.
Okay, I had a little blip there.
I know, I was wondering what happened, but I'm glad we got back.
Don't press too many buttons when you're but there is here's one of Brittany's blogs, and I will show the other one in a little bit, but because I don't want to press too many buttons now. Anyhow, thank you so much for sharing all of this with us, Brittany. If you want more information about how you can travel as a teacher, or travel just in general, and travel and tips and different resources that Brittany has shared with us, and definitely understand, when you know who your avatar and who your target audience is, that is going to help you reach more people. And even if you aren't a teacher, even if you aren't specifically, you can still relate, and you can still get value and information from learning how other people are blogging, and seeing how the different ways and the different resources that they use, and also seeing how they use SEO, and that's search engine optimization, and how that helps them to get a higher reach in Google, and different resources, especially if you're using websites like Pinterest or YouTube. These understanding SEO, and you can see how Brittany uses that in her blogs to get that higher reach on Google. And so thank you so much for your time, Brittany, and thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you all later.
Bye.